Hey y'all!
Hi everybody!
And welcome back to the Rainbow Room. Yes.
Wow.
Welcome back.
We are on our third
episode. I don't know. I thought we weren't gonna make it this far. I was like, okay, we're gonna do one or two, and then we're gonna give up. Yeah. But we're here, and it's the third episode.
It definitely was a commitment, but it was a commitment that I think we were ready to make.
Yeah.
So very excited. Should we get started?
I'm excited too. Let's do it. All right. So y'all know what's up, or maybe if you don't, we've got multiple segments that we're gonna do, and the first one is called
Real Talk. All right.
Okay,
do you want to go first?
Yes. So we're each gonna do a movie that we want to talk about. Okay.
Yeah.
So my movie is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Okay. This is a French movie, a French lesbian movie. It's on Hulu and it's on Disney Plus. And this is one of my favorite lesbian movies. Again, it's in French, so if you're not into reading subtitles and stuff like that, it may not be for you. But it's one of my favorites. I think it's very well done. I like the cinematography is well done. I think the acting is great. The ending's a little weird, but outside of the ending, the rest of the movie is good. So
do you want to tell them what it's about?
Yeah. All right, so this movie is set in the late 1700s, and it pretty much follows the story of these two young ladies, all right? And one of them is being forced into, if y'all hear our dog, she's throwing a tantrum because she's not getting attention right now, okay?
Yeah,
so
sorry,
disclaimer,
guys.
if you hear our dog, please ignore it because she's throwing a little tantrum. She wants attention. So let's get back into this movie. So this movie is set in the late 1700s, okay? And it follows the story of these two young ladies. One of them is being forced into an arranged marriage. And, since it's set in the 1700s, they didn't have phones back then and all that stuff. So it was common for families to get portraits done of their daughters and sent to suitors and things like that so that suitors can see if they want that person to be their wife, okay? So it follows these two young ladies. One of them is being forced into an arranged marriage. The other one is a professional portrait painter, or is that
that's great.
Painter. She's a professional painter, okay? And so this young lady who's being forced into this arranged marriage, she's refusing to get her painting done because once her painting is done, she's gonna, it's gonna be sent overseas to this suitor that her family wants her to marry. He's wealthy, he's the full package of everything except for she's never met him and she doesn't want him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but for her family, he's the perfect guy. So long story short, her mom ends up hiring this artist, this other lady, okay? And she pretty much hires her and tells her, listen, my daughter is refusing to sit and get her portrait done for her future husband. And it's affecting us being able to get a proposal and all this stuff. We want you to come down here. We want you to act like her friend. They want her to be her companion, like a lady companion. Her mom tells the lady, hey, can you come down, act like you're my daughter's new companion or friend, because the lady who's being forced into an arranged marriage, she's suffering from what they called melancholy. Mm-hmm. Melancholy? Depression, okay? And so they were like, I'm gonna tell my daughter you're gonna be her new friend. You're gonna get her out and about. You're gonna get her walking around the town. You're gonna be her new companion. But really what we want you to do is paint her, but you have to paint her in secret. So pretty much the story, I'm not gonna give, any spoilers, but pretty much it follows these two young ladies becoming friends, the painter memorizing her facial features, memorizing things, and then later at night in secret she paints her, all right?
That's so queer.
Yeah, and you can just imagine how things go, the details, I'm not gonna get into it, but it's such a good movie. I really enjoy it, except for the ending. It sucked, of course, like a lot of lesbian movies. Sadly, the ending sucks, but it's hot, and I think it's very well shot. I love the movie.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
You guys need to go watch it. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So my film that I want to talk about, it's actually not a film, it's a TV show. Uh-huh. We watched it recently. It's called The Madness on Netflix. Okay. I believe it's a Netflix original series. And it just came out at the end of last year, I want to say, or it just got really popular last year. Mm-hmm. So we decided to watch it. And it is a show about a black CNN news reporter. And he witnesses this murder while he is in the woods on this getaway. Yes. He goes over to his neighbor's house and basically witnesses somebody being murdered. And what's unfortunate about it is the murderers see them. So it follows the story of him basically being framed, and I think it was a really good story because it speaks to like the socio-political climate that we're in now, when it comes to just blackness in general and constantly having to prove your worth, basically prove your worth to society, prove that you are a valuable member of society, and constantly trying to like fight against these stereotypes, I guess you could say. He's a young, educated black man, you know, he's a reporter, and people don't like that about him. They don't like that. They have this idea of who he should be and what he should be doing. And as the story goes along, you see that his father was a freedom fighter. And it also speaks to like the extremist groups within our country right now. And both far left extremists and far right extremists. And it's just a really crazy story, honestly. It kind of just, it makes you kind of open your eyes. I know some people, when they were critiquing it, they were saying, like, they're trying to spark a race war or, like, trying to pit black people against white people.
Really?
Yeah, I saw a lot of reviews that were, like, especially from black people that were like upset about it and saying like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, saying that they were just trying to create a race war. But honestly, I thought it was speaking more to like how no matter what extreme belief you have, if you're using that belief to justify actions, the actions that you're taking, no matter which side of the line you're on, it can lead to detriment. Like, it can lead to really bad things. And so, I don't know. I think you guys should definitely go watch it. Yeah. And let us know what you think in the comments. Like, I want to know how you guys feel about it. Literally, in my notes, I wrote, like, a whole essay about this show because there were just so many small details that you could really speak about. I mean, even the fact that he like abandoned one of his children, but is still a father to another one of his children, like
has a whole new family.
Yeah, it really just speaks to a lot of the black experiences that a lot of people have within this country. And I think it was a great show. I will say it did take us kind of a minute to finish it, but it's like, I think it's just because it's kind of heavy and it's kind of deep. Like, you have to digest it. It's not something that I think you can just binge and constantly watch just for sure, because you're trying to take in everything that they're giving to you and feeding to you. And it talks about the cops, you know, it talks about the feds and how they
are corrupt.
Are corrupt and weren't being helpful. And how they were basically helping to pin this murder on him. Because not only were a lot of them in these the cops in these extremist groups, but they also, his father had a record. Like I said, he was a freedom fighter, and they did not like that. So now they're trying to, you know, frame him with murder. And I think that happens more than people may realize. But yeah, I think it's a great show, and you guys should go check it out. Yeah. All right.
I liked it. I thought it was really good. But like she said, it took us a while to really finish the show just because it was a little heavy, and like every night we didn't want to kind of watch some of that heavy stuff. So that's why it took so long. But yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. And I also want to say, like, when it comes to the extremist groups, what I was trying to say is that your intent does not delegate the impact that it has on other people. Like I said, no matter which side of the spectrum you're on, you can't justify your actions with just constant violence. I don't think that that's the way to really solve anything. And like we see in the show, like, it really does cause a lot of turmoil, not just in his life, but in the families of the people who are in these groups. You know, there's just so much. So please go check it out.
And it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Okay, so let's move on to our next segment, which is called Bookworms.
Okay, so I would just be doing our book for today, all right?
Yeah.
So my book recommendation is another lesbian story. Of course, that's all I read is lesbian books. Yeah. I don't know. Is that weird?
No.
I
would say I'm definitely more the person to read like a wider genre of book.
Okay. Yes.
Because mine are not all queer.
Yeah.
But I don't have a book this week, so let's hear it.
All right. So it's called Survival Kit by Anakin Haga. All right. So pretty much this book follows this lesbian couple, all right? And they're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. And the entire book, they're trying to make their way from their house to this like safe haven. Okay, there's like they've heard from like I guess they had a radio. I can't quite remember because I read this book a while ago, but they had like radios and stuff like that, and they were able to like catch a channel that was talking about that people had set up camp in this particular area of their state, and you know everyone's welcome. You know, they've got food, they've got water, they've got supplies and all this stuff, and like just come if you're alive and not a zombie. Yeah. So what makes this book interesting is because one of the ladies in the book, one of the partners, she actually suffers from a chronic illness, and so she actually has to use a wheelchair to get around. So just imagine, you know, they're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. They're trying to get to this safe haven, and they're stuck in their home. They're running out of food. They're running out of supplies. They just face a lot of troubles, you know, trying to get to this safe haven, just outside of not just because, you know, they're surrounded by zombies, but also because one of them has an illness and has to use a wheelchair. And it just goes through how they survive, or who knows, they might die at the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is a really good book. I think it's really cute. I know that sounds weird to say it's cute, but like their relationship is super cute. The book is honestly, you might think it's heavy, but it's actually, the author puts like a funny spin to it. Like it's actually pretty funny. And yeah, I mean, if you like zombies, funny books, kind of thrillers. I mean, it's exciting. I think it was really well written. Yeah. I would say check it out. And again, it's not too heavy, even though it sounds kind of heavy, but it's pretty funny. So check it out.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really good. You need to read it.
You have
another book she hasn't read it.
Yeah. Again, we read like different things. I feel like because some of my recommendations, she's like. So, yeah. But I will read that because that sounds really good. Yeah, you've got me.
All right. Yeah. Like, I swear, y'all, I have a whole list I made for her. Yeah. And she has not read them.
Listen, there's been a lot going on recently. True. But I'm definitely going to get to it. It's on my list. Mm-hmm. So, you guys should read it too. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, check it out.
All right. Our next segment, which is called Listen Up. Okay, do you want to go first? Or do you want
you go first.
Okay. So I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. So please forgive me if I'm not saying it right. But their name is Asal or Asal. I don't know how to say it, y'all, but it's Asal. I found them recently on Spotify, and I think they're a 10 out of 10. Yeah. Honestly, if you like 070 Shake or like any kind of alternative indie Jersey beat, like they kind of have a range of genres in their music. I know I've played a few songs for you, but they are really good. The 3 songs that I recommend today are Liars and Players, which is one of my favorites. It's been on repeat. In a Night, and That's the Way It Goes, which is a little bit slower, but still a very, very good song. Yeah. So, highly recommend. Do you want to tell the people your artist?
Yo, so the artist I want to talk about, her name, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but we'll put it on the screen. Yeah. Her name's Jean Doe. Yeah. I really enjoy her music. I came across her on Spotify randomly, like, I don't even know when. A while ago, but I just like became obsessed. Yeah. Her music, I don't know what genre to put it under, maybe hip hop and R&B, but it's just if you're looking for something upbeat, like if you're going to the gym or you're just having a bad day and want to like, you know, get a little, you know what I'm saying? Just like her music it bombs, it be bumping, you know what I'm saying? So
it really do.
Like, it really like So I would highly suggest checking her out, Jean Doe. And I just got 2 songs. These are my favorite songs that I would recommend. Roll With Me. Love that song. And Yeah, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I love Roll With Me.
Yeah,
I remember you put me on the Roll With Me. Yeah. All right.
We're moving on along today.
We're moving. All right, guys. So, moving along, we're going to go to our next segment, which is called The Rainbow Report. So, settle down. Court is adjourned. Okay, so this week on The Rainbow Report, we are talking about JD.
Do y'all know who that is? Tell them who that is.
I don't know if you guys know who this is, but JD is a queer influencer. And sorry I'm making that face, y'all. I just got a lot of beef. But we're talking about her because recently she put out a video talking about lesbians.
And here's the video.
Go ahead and watch it.
I only talk to straight women for real. Everybody know that. It ain't no secret. Or you can be Bioski. And everybody always asks me, why? You must want to turn them out. Why? You like a challenge? No, that ain't no challenge. Working with kids is a challenge, bitch. Fucking a straight hoe is not no challenge. I can tell you why. Somebody said this on my TL. Not my TL. Somebody said this on my For You page. And I'm going to piggyback off that. Straight bitches look better. They dress better. I'm sorry. Not only that, you know, I ain't with nobody that's too... I don't like that shit. Them bitches that be too gay. You can't be too gay. Yep, like, it be your whole personality. You know I'm Christian, y'all. I ain't with none of that. You got a rainbow in the bar? I can't even fuck with you, girl. You better find the scripture, put it up in that basket. I ain't playing. You know, it be shit like that. But them the main two reasons. Like, all jokes aside, everybody be always trying to figure out why. They look fucking better. Knee alone, making good, so not Lathan, straight. Come here, I don't care. You like me? I don't give a fuck. I like you. What are we even saying? I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Okay, y'all. So, I'm sorry. I meant to say YD. My apologies. I called her JD. That was my bad. Let's start with point number 1. Her main point. She only dates straight women because straight women look better than lesbians. I think the silence is saying it all. Yeah. Quite honestly. First of all, why are we pitting women against each other? That's my first point. Although it's not true, why are we pitting women against each other? Yeah. I don't like that. It's not giving girls girl. It's not giving a part of the club. Yeah. Like, it's giving you're hating from outside the club and you can't even get in, booski. Anyways, okay, so point number 2, Miss YD says that gay people are too gay.
What does that mean?
Specifically, she said, if you have a rainbow in your bio, miss me with that. You need to put a scripture. I'm a Christian.
It's all just so problematic. It really doesn't make sense. Any of it.
It's so stupid.
I have a scripture.
You want me to put a scripture, but you still fucking girls on the... You're still... I didn't know that there was a such thing as too gay. I'm sorry.
What does that mean?
I thought it was just either you're gay or you're not gay.
Right.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Not queer.
And it's giving internalized issues. Internalized homophobia. Because
Absolutely.
What do you mean y'all are too gay for me? Sorry. But I still want to spread them legs, but you're too gay.
Right. But only spread the legs
for the ones who only want dick. Then she says, dating straight women is not hard. I do not have to chase them. I can bag whoever I want to bag.
That's probably not true.
It's extremely untrue. Because she couldn't bag me.
Right.
And she couldn't bag my baby.
That's true.
So, that's true right off the bat. Untrue. I'm sorry. Untrue.
Right.
Right off the bat.
Right.
And I just feel like... Let's just go back to point number 2, because too gay.
What does that mean?
And needing to put a scripture in your bio, baby girl, what are they telling you at the church? Do they even like you? Because they would say that you're too gay. Ooh.
That's true.
Sorry. I mean,
why are you hating on your community?
Why are you hating on the people that fought for your rights? I'm confused.
And
clearly she's confused. Does she even know what she wants? What do you want?
At the end of the day, if you only want to fuck straight women, do you see yourself long term then with a man? Because she is bisexual.
Well, I believe in another video she said that she would never marry a woman.
Okay, so
which again, another problematic statement.
Right.
You just want your cake and to eat it too. You want to have your cake and eat it too. Because what do you mean you are going to fuck women, you're going to date women, you're going to wine and dine women, and then you're just going to, kick them to the curb because they're too gay for you and you're not with that gay shit? I'm not understanding.
Right.
I'm not understanding. So, a lot of people in these comments actually were agreeing with her, which I was shocked by.
Yeah.
And disturbed by, quite honestly. People agreeing.
Concerning.
So then she made a response video to the people who were not agreeing with her, and we're gonna roll that right now.
This is why I can't deal with everybody in the LGBTQ community, because why did I just see a video of a stud talking about, I only like dating straight women because straight women look better than, I guess, lesbian women. And you know what? Hell no. And it sounded like a little bit of internalized homophobia to me.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Fuck. This is what I'm saying. Y'all gays be so fucking serious. It just, is it that deep? Opinions is just like assholes. Everybody got one. Everybody in the comments, oh yeah, everybody. Why you just says anything right? No, I say how I feel, bitch, and I stand on everything I say. One, I'm not a stud, boo. Don't ever in your life try to say, yeah, because you can't bag them. I've talked to a lesbian before, and their whole personality was them being fucking gay. And I didn't like it. I'm bisexual myself. I talk to bisexual and straight women. I have no issue. I don't give a fuck how any of y'all feel about it. But guess what? You know what's crazy about it, though? I don't even think I asked how any of y'all feel about it. I don't think I said, oh, you guys, how do y'all feel about it? No, I'm telling y'all how the fuck I feel. And that wasn't like that wasn't like a open dialogue for y'all to give your unsolicited opinions about how you think I feel and mislabel me, bitch. Oh gosh, I'm more mad at you calling me a stud. Oh gosh, I'm about to puke right now. Then everybody in the comments say how much they don't like me, but everybody in the comments watch my shit. Oh my goodness. I think I'm that bitch. I don't know. All in all, bitch, I stand on what I said. I would die on that hill by myself, solo. Me and my fucking bear, Alexander, would stand on that bitch solo. I've never... And then I can beg anybody with my eyes closed. Okay? It has nothing to do with that. It's this, everybody has a preference. I don't think you're appealing. That's my preference. You may not think I'm appealing. That's your preference. To each his own. So it's just like, that's just what it is, baby. And I'm allowed to have my preference without everybody attacking me about it. Bitches was not no open fucking dialogue. Talking about fix your phone, block me. Bitch, I ain't blocked, so just block me.
Okay. So, now that you guys have seen the video evidence, because I had to pull up the receipts, honestly, because I didn't want any parts of anybody saying that I misconstrued anything. So, let's start with, again, point number 1. Let me check her name, YD. Miss YD is very upset that people were calling her a stud. Okay. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Although, you do look like a stud.
She is masculine
presenting. I mean, you are a masculine presenting woman. You wear boy clothes. I mean, it's giving stud, honestly. So you can't really be mad that people are assuming
and for those who
that's how you identify.
For those who don't know, stud is just another term, I feel like mainly in the black community for someone who's like a woman who's masculine presenting.
Yes.
That's all.
She said that, in her words, she wanted to throw up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said, in her response video that we just watched, she said that she wanted to throw up because people were calling her a stud.
That's awful.
And I just feel like that is so offensive on so many levels. Because what's wrong with the studs?
Yeah. It's not usually a negative word compared to other words such as well, I'm not going to say them here. But
yeah, just derogatory terms.
Yeah.
Like, nobody was calling you any slurs, baby girl. So I'm really confused on what your issue is. Now, aside from the fact that you're trying to distract everyone with your fucking teddy bear because you have bullshit coming out of your lips, I just think everything you had to say was complete and utter horseshit. Quite honestly, you said gay people are too serious. As if you did not just offend a whole demographic of people that belong to your community.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't understand the people who agreed with her, first of all. But this is why, like, you can't be friends with everybody. You can't let everybody in your circle. You can't do any of those things because it's people out here who have the audacity to fix their lips. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it nice. Fix their lips and say, oh, straight women look better than lesbians and I can bag anybody that I want. So, fuck you, basically. And she also said that it's not an open discussion, but then put it on the internet. I beg to differ, baby.
Yeah.
I beg to differ.
As soon as it's on there publicly, come on now.
And, like, you can't be mad that people feel a type of way or are responding to something that you said that you know is going to be controversial.
Yeah,
that makes absolutely no sense. So it's very clear that she's using maybe 10% of the brain that she supposedly has in her head, and the rest of it is just empty nonsense, and she's pulling from the empty nonsense. Because it's not making any sense to me. It's giving self-hatred.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
It's giving, I don't like myself, so I'm gonna make other people feel shitty about themselves.
Yeah. Like, literally, putting something out like that, how do you think that makes a lesbian feel?
Yeah.
Like, you put that out to make lesbians who accept themselves,
Who hurt you?
To feel bad.
YD, I have one question and one question alone. Which lesbian, point me to the lesbian it was that hurt you. And then point me to the therapist that you need to go to, and you need to go make an appointment, baby. It's time. It's time.
It is.
Honestly. She said she dated one lesbian, and she made her entire relationship and everything about her sexuality.
Off one person.
Off of one person.
Yeah.
It's very ignorant and disgusting and sad and disturbing, and you need to get some help. Or maybe go to the church and get some Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand what it is.
Like, why would you put something out like that?
But then you're laughing and kikiing and also getting mad that people have something to say. You don't want people to respond. Oh, but you're standing on business, but you don't want people to have nothing to say to you. It's not you're a contradiction.
Yeah.
It's actually really sad. And I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. YD, I hope that you have a beautiful and wonderful 2025, and I hope that you stay away from all of the lesbians, and I hope all of the lesbians stay away from you, because nobody deserves to be treated the way that I'm sure that you would probably treat them.
Stick with the straight women
who
will leave, I guess.
Who don't even want you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally she has a lot of internalized homophobia. Maybe growing up she had something in her life, that, like someone in her life who was telling her awful things, like that make her not want to accept herself and accept her community. And now I guess now she wants to spew that to the world and have other people think that
hatred.
And have other people think that mindset is healthy. That's not a healthy mindset to be in. Don't you want to be with someone that at the end of the day wants to stay with you? You know what I'm saying? As in, like, she's saying she wants to only date single women. Well, single women at the end of the day will want to marry most
straight
likely.
women.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Straight women at the end of the day.
Straight women at the end of the day will only want to probably be with a man, you know? Don't you want a relationship that's fulfilling? Again, I know some people are
she also said in her first or second video that she was not trying to turn women out. What are you trying to do then? What's your goal? Is it feeding your ego?
Yeah.
You won't even admit that it's feeding your ego. You literally said that that's not what you're trying to do. What is it then? Is it making you feel powerful? That you're the one exception? She's like taking and picking from all these little communities and is trying to put it together as a person. And it's not working. At the end of the day, you're literally just spewing hatred.
Yeah.
And I think that it's really sad. and I hope that you find some peace within yourself, because clearly your inner turmoil is what is causing this explosion of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So.
And what makes someone too gay? Is it like something
having a rainbow in the bio, apparently, and apparently being proud that you're a lesbian is like too much, you know?
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
you know, she's not an ally. It's giving.
She's not an ally.
I don't even know what category to put
she can go over there.
Even though.
Keep her over there. Everybody that agreed with her can also go over there. We don't need that.
Y'all can date each other.
Yeah, date each.
Because y'all be bringing that trauma into the community, and then everyone's.
I would love to talk to the straight woman the lesbian woman that YD was talking to or dating or whatever, and I would love to get an insight on what that relationship was like for her. Because I'm sure it was terrible. Yeah. Anyways. Should we move on to our next segment?
Let's move on to our next segment.
Enough of this buffoonery.
Yeah, so let us know what you think in the comments.
Please
y'all.
let us
know. We want to chatter.
This has been a discourse all across TikTok. I've been seeing TikTok after TikTok after TikTok after TikTok. And I just had to say my piece because I just felt like it's just so ignorant and stupid. Like, at the end of the day, it's stupid as hell. It's just so stupid. And I had so many feelings about it. So that's why we're here talking about it.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Let us know.
And let us know if you agree with YD. And if you do, just know you're getting blocked. Bye.
I was just saying agree.
No, right. Okay. So we're going to move to our next segment.
Yes, and this is our favorite segment.
Yes, our favorite segment.
Let them know what it is.
Wow, 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 wow. Thread hopping.
Boing, boing, boing. Yo, not as one key. That's crazy. Baby, not as both. Boing, boing, boing.
Okay, so thread hopping is where we
talk about Reddit stories.
Yes.
Am I the assholes? What would you do? Questions. And most of them we'll pull are going to be queer stories. Yeah. But some may not. I don't know.
Yeah, some may not. Honestly, there's so many stories, and I feel like we might be limiting ourselves a little bit if they're just only queer. But yeah, you're going to get a little bit of everything. I'm very excited for my story this week, and I'm very excited to see what you picked for us this week.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, so the title of my Reddit story is, Am I the asshole for staying with my husband even if I'm a lesbian? I, 38 female, am married to a 43 male, and I have been married for 19 years, and we have 2 kids, 16 female and 10 female. And our marriage was not going well. We weren't in love, and I barely wanted to share a room with him. But I did love the way he raised our kids and appreciated him as a human, just not as a partner. Mm-hmm. I went to therapy and realized I was a lesbian and was denying myself for many years. I told him this because we were married and deserved to know he understood and supported my journey. We decided to stay married for our kids, but not share a bed and have it be open, and it'd been like that for the past 6 years. I had not.
So they're saying they had an open relationship.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
I had not told anyone else this, especially not my kids. I was definitely afraid that my kids would hate me and did not want to deal with that. Anyways, a couple hours ago, my eldest daughter came out as a lesbian. We were obviously accepting of her, and then my husband made a comment about how it was like mother like daughter. I was petrified when he said that, and my daughter asked him what he meant, and he looked over at me and saw me almost completely paralyzed with fear and said, "Never mind." But my daughter would not drop it, so I blurted out that I was gay as well. She was furious I didn't tell her, but I explained that I hadn't told anyone except her father. She went on and on about how it would have been easier if she knew that about me, and I explained to her that I just wasn't ready. That made her even more angry, and she stormed off. I was upset, and my husband kind of agreed with her that I should have told my daughter about my identity. I want to know, Reddit, am I the asshole? This is a damn mess to me, okay? An absolute mess. Let's talk about it.
Okay, go first.
I just don't understand when 2 people decide that they no longer love each other, why stay together? The kids know, okay? As someone who's come from, in my childhood, my parents went through a lot, okay? And it ended in divorce years and years later when I went to college. But, I mean, since middle school, I could tell the love wasn't there. Like, I don't know if they thought, like, just because they were living under the same house and were technically had rings on their finger, like, that everything would look normal. But you can tell when your parents aren't feeling each other, you know, the fighting, the arguing, the literally just the distance. Kids can feel that, you know, and that can be just as detrimental as just getting a divorce. And I know that's hard to say, just getting a divorce. You know, I know some people, I can only imagine, like, being with someone for several years, and even if y'all don't get along, let's say, there's still, some people may still find comfort in that person, right? And both may find comfort, but they still know they're not meant to be together, and I guess that can be hard. But just getting back to the Reddit story, I mean, it sounds like they've got this arrangement going on where they decided they know they don't love each other. They don't even want to sleep in the same bed, right? But yet they're saying they're staying together for the kids. Yeah. Get a divorce. Yeah. Get a divorce and co-parent. Be great co-parenters, because that's detrimental. Like, the kids are probably know they're not sleeping in the same room, you know, and who knows what that can do to them and how they think a relationship should be. Yeah. You know, you should be showing your kids what real love looks like, or, you know, not just forcing it or like trying to put up a show, because most likely the kids can see right through that.
Yeah, they're not stupid. I think sometimes people forget that kids are they're very observant, and they're little humans, and they're not just some like fly on the wall that's not paying attention to anything. Like, they really are absorbing literally everything that you put out into the world. And so I agree. Yeah. Go ahead and divorce. Are you the asshole? I don't know if I would say that you're the asshole for not telling your daughter. I would not say that you have to force yourself out of the closet for anyone. Right. Especially if you're not comfortable within yourself, if you're not ready. I wouldn't say that you should have to do that. I do understand her daughter feeling like, well, damn, like, I didn't have to be scared this whole time. Right. The whole time my mama was a lesbian too. Yeah. Like, we're in the same community. I understand her being upset about that. You have to take it with a grain of salt. She's 16. Yeah. You know, she's dealing with so many different emotions. She's probably just coming into herself and what she knows her identity to be. You know, she has hormones racing all of the time. There's a lot of different factors within that, and your daughter will get over it. Yeah. She will get over it. But I do think that a divorce is probably necessary and probably the best way to move forward. Right. I understand having an open relationship. That's not necessarily something that I think that we would do. No. But I just think that it would be easier to just get a divorce, and really learn yourself, come into yourself, you know, explore your queerness, and maybe you will find someone that you will feel fulfilled with and have that love with, and it sounds like your kids are going to support you either way. Right. They're kids. Right. I mean, you're the one that's teaching them. Yeah. So I just don't, I'm not really sure where to go from here. Divorce is my answer.
Yeah, I think they need to get a divorce. And is she the asshole? I'm going to say yes. I think she is the asshole for staying with her husband even though she's a lesbian.
Yeah, I think it's selfish.
I think, and it's strange her husband didn't leave her either. You know, if they're not, he knows, and he's not, you know, they're not doing anything that couples are doing, sleeping together, going on dates, loving each other, hugging up on each other. Like, what's the point of that? What's the point then? At that point, y'all are just, what are y'all?
Like, I just feel like at the end of the day, you only have one chance at this life that you're living, and like, why spend it being miserable and sad and scared? Yeah. You know, why not just bite the bullet and just say, I'm just gonna risk it, you know, I'm just gonna throw myself off the cliff and hope that, you know, I'm okay. Yeah. And sometimes that's just what you have to do. Sign those divorce papers, baby, go to a speed dating event, like, do something. I mean, don't just sit and waste away. That's such a sad way to live your life. Or just settling just because this your husband is like all that you've known. It says that you've been together for 20 years. Sounds like he's like one of the only people that you've known. You guys are in your late 30s and 40s. Yeah. So it sounds like you've been together since you were a teenager, and you're unhappy. You're not fulfilled, and you're staying together for your children who know that you're not even happy.
Right.
And it would do them so much better to see a healthy, happy relationship being modeled for them, just like you said. Yeah. So, yeah.
And it sounds like there's probably a lot of tension in the air at that home. I mean, he made that snarky remark while his daughter was coming out. You know, it maybe, who knows what the tension's like in there, but I'm sure it's not good for the kids.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hopefully, OP, you can find peace within yourself and find a partner once you feel comfortable with that. And hopefully your daughter comes back around, you know, and she's also happy with her life, and your other daughter's happy, and your husband finds somebody, and he's happy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's read like 2 comments, and then we're going to move to her Reddit story, all right?
Okay.
So someone said, despite what you may think, your children are not entitled to know certain information. You are a whole human being, not just a parent. In this case, I understand that it would have helped your daughter, but you're going through your own version of her journey. Have compassion for each other and give each other a little grace. She's young, you're new, and if you give her a bit of patience while maintaining appropriate boundaries, you might find it strengthens. As a psychologist once said to me, kids, small tears and repairs. Said to me, kids, small tears and repairs. I don't know. Showing them that no matter what happens, you'll be there to help them through. Not the asshole, good luck.
I don't really understand that statement, but...
Right.
I don't know. I don't think that she's an asshole, but I do think that y'all need some stuff that you gotta work through.
And then someone else said, not the asshole. It sounds like you and your husband have a mutual agreement and understanding. It's really nobody's business how you choose to have your relationship with your husband. As long as you both respect each other and are on the same page, I see no issue. As for your husband slipping up, was it an accident? I know he should have been more careful, and it's totally up to you what you want to share with your kids. I do think your 16-year-old could benefit from knowing. I think you'd be able to help her navigate through this, because I'm sure it wasn't easy for her to come out.
Yeah, I agree.
So we said the asshole.
You said the asshole.
I said the asshole.
I said not the asshole.
But you're not the asshole regarding which part? Staying with her husband?
Yeah, I'm just saying not the asshole, because I feel like at the end of the day, you're going to do what you're going to do, and nobody can force you out, and nobody can force you to divorce this man, but like... if you're unhappy, like, you're kind of being an asshole to yourself.
Yeah.
If you
That's a good point.
I don't know. All right, y'all. I have my story, and then we're going to move to our last segment. Am I the asshole for telling a sheltered girl that I am a lesbian? So I, 16 female, am in class with Annie, 15 female. Annie is really smart, which is why she's in this high-level class, despite being a freshman, while most of the class are juniors, but she's also kind of sheltered. We sit next to each other, and we're kind of friends, and I've learned that the reason she's so sheltered is because her parents are fundamental Christians. She told me once that her parents exempted her from our school's sex education, but that she figured out where babies come from anyway, because in biology class, they told us how other mammals have babies, and humans can't be that different, right? She also mentioned one time that her parents tried to pull her out of the same biology class because evolution was on the curriculum, but the school wouldn't let them. Now, I don't have a problem with her religion. I am a Christian too, and my family goes to a progressive church where everyone is accepted. Her beliefs have never gotten in the way of our friendship, despite me being a leftist tomboy who wants to be an evolutionary biologist. Anyways, I have a lesbian pride pin on my jacket, and for a few weeks before winter break, Annie asked me about it. Turns out, she didn't know what a pride flag even was. When I explained what it was and what it meant, she gasped and said, "But isn't it a sin to date another girl?" I was a little taken aback because she never struck me as the homophobic type. I explained that some people believe that it is a sin. My church and I don't. And I asked her, rhetorically, why would God make gay people and then punish them for it? She said she would think about it and then change the subject. The next time I saw her, I was a little worried, but then when she got to class, she sat down and excitedly told me she'd been reading her Bible and praying, and that she doesn't think a girl loving another girl is a sin anymore. She started quoting passages to me, and we talked about theology for a while. It was a great discussion, and I came out of it even more convinced that she's a kind and not hateful person. The next Monday, I got called down to the counselor's office, and they sat me down from across from the vice principal, social worker, and psychologist. They told me I'd been accused of sexual harassment, and they asked me some questions about what kind of language I use when I talk to my female peers. I answered honestly that I never talk about sex because it makes me uncomfortable. They took notes and let me go after about an hour. When I got home, my parents told me that they were really disappointed in me because they didn't raise me to sexually harass people. I was so confused because I never have done anything remotely even close to sexual harassment. Eventually, the school got back to my parents and I told us that I've been cleared of any wrongdoing. Annie messaged me via her school email to apologize. Apparently, she'd mentioned to her parents that I told her that being gay isn't a sin and that they freaked out and called the school. She told me that her parents would be transferring her out of our shared class. I told my parents the story to make sure that they know that I'm not some perv, and they told me that I was being insensitive by telling Annie about my sexuality, that I should have known there would be an issue because of how Annie is being raised. Did I bring this on myself? Am I the asshole?
And what grade are they in?
So OP is 16 and so she is a junior. School. Yes, and Annie is 15 and it seems she's a freshman. What do you have to say?
No, she's not the asshole. Of course she's not the asshole. That's awful that she even has to deal with that. Yeah. She should have known not to say what the pride flag was and blah, blah, blah. Because, like, come on.
Yeah.
No, she's not the asshole. This is just a classic case of homophobia back in the home.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't understand, why were the parents mad at her? Because
she said it's not a sin. She told her it's not a sin.
But they agree that it's not a sin because they go to a progressive church. They're just saying she should have known better than to say that to her.
Yes. Okay. I have to say, I did not realize when I was growing up, my parents always told me that we were non-denominational Christians. Mm-hmm. And, okay. However, now being older and knowing the things that I know, I do think that they were following more of a fundamentalist belief when it comes to Christianity. And if nobody knows what that means, it's just a more extreme version of the Christian belief system. And when I was younger, like middle school age, I was Annie. Like, me and Annie, like, we were the same. Yeah. We were one and the same. And it's just because I didn't know any better. Like, I was literally being taught very hateful things when it came to queer people, when it came to sinners in general. Like, just very...
Sinners?
Yeah, like, literally, like, just hateful things. Yeah. And I really didn't know any better until I got older and was able to understand that what I was being taught was incorrect. And essentially what brought me to that point was being around my classmates and having discussions about different things like sexuality or gender studies or just historical facts. Like, there were so many things that I wasn't aware of. My family was also the family that did not believe in evolution, did not want me learning it, you know, did not want me having anything to do with it. Yeah. So I understand Annie, and I honestly, my heart goes out to her. My heart also goes out to OP, of course, because OP is the one that's dealing with this bullshit. But I mean, for Annie, that's
really, all she knew.
Yeah, like, I really feel for her because her world was so, like she said, so sheltered and so small, and like all she knew was her fundamentalist belief. All she knew was what her parents were telling her. Right. And a lot of that belief system is based in fear and like being told that if you don't believe this way or if you don't do these certain things that you're gonna go to hell. Yeah. and you're gonna burn for the rest of your life. Yeah. And the people that you love like are gonna burn if they don't have the same belief systems. Yeah. And it's really difficult. Yeah. And so I feel really bad, honestly, for Annie, and I feel really bad that there are still people who are teaching their kids these things.
Hateful things.
Yeah, and like passing that along. And I find it so sad that she had to email her classmate from her school email to apologize and tell her, like, I'm so sorry, you know, my parents just kind of flew off the handle and I don't feel the same way that they do.
Yeah. One of the most popular scriptures is thou shalt not judge, right? And then they're teaching their children to judge.
Yeah. Or even the passage about love, like saying what love is and what love is not. And in that passage, I don't see anything about gender anywhere.
Right.
If anything, it's talking about how love should be compassionate, you know, how it should be empathetic, how it should not be hateful or boastful or prideful or like any of these things. And so I just don't understand how we got here. You know,
love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah,
but like that's not.
Yeah, and
picking and choosing.
Exactly, it's very much picking and choosing. And so I just really hope that Annie finds support from people other than her very skewed and very small-minded family members. And I also hope that OP is able to find some support and some love, because it sounds like her parents were making her feel bad for even mentioning her identity, even though old girl Annie asked what it meant and what and how she identifies. And so it's just sad.
And I also grew up very sheltered, and I mean, I didn't even know what a lesbian was till like middle school, right? And so growing up like in a very strict Christian household, it was hard for me in high school really to be a Christian and not hate myself. Like I was very much like a strong Christian believer in high school, right? And so, but I was fighting with, I am attracted to women. I had been since I can remember. Since I was like in elementary school, I was having crushes on women. So I'm being told, you're going to go to hell. You're going to do this. You need to think this way. You need to try this. You're not, something's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? And fighting with that and trying to follow that, you know, that belief system, it just caused me to have a lot of self-hate. You know,
religious guilt.
At one point I was like, I'm just never going to date anyone, and I'm going to go live on a farm and that'll be my life. Like, you know, I was very depressed, even if that didn't show. And so just, that mindset.
Yeah, like, I think people should just raise their kids to love everyone. You know, like, it's hard. There have been times where my own mother has compared me to, you know, murderers and assaulters and just people who commit terrible things and do terrible things just simply because I'm gay. Yeah. And it's like, life is really hard when you have to deal with things like that. So we're just sending out love and our best wishes to everyone, and hoping that you're safe somewhere and you have some kind of support system, and that you know that you are loved and there's nothing wrong with you, and things will get better. Things will be okay. And if you find your solace in, you know, your religion, just make sure that they are accepting of you, and love you for all that you are, and not making you feel bad about who you're going to be, whatever that religion
causing you
might
any
be.
Self-hatred.
Yeah,
you know?
like it should be a space of love. Yeah. At the end of the day, everything should be done in love.
Yes.
So yeah.
And that will take us to our next segment.
Our last segment of the night.
All right, so this is going to take us to the bright side, all right? So we've got one story today. I don't know if any of y'all have heard about this, but this was in the news January 1st of 2025. Chicago is now the largest U.S. city to power all its municipal buildings with a 100% renewable energy. So they've been striving to make that happen all last year, it seems, and they achieved it the first of this year. And so that's pretty huge, you know.
And all of them now run on it?
Yeah, 411 buildings owned and operated by the city of Chicago now run on either renewable energy or offset their emissions through financing renewables across the country. And this marks 3 years since the city signed a major agreement to receive solar power from the largest solar farm in east of Mississippi. So that's huge that they did that. I think that's, I mean, everyone knows global warming is a huge problem.
Yeah,
and
climate change.
You know, I don't know how many other cities are making an effort in the U.S. to combat that and help us out, you know, but Great job, Chicago.
Yes, shout out to Chicago. We love Chicago.
We do love Chicago.
One of our favorite places. So, shout out to Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you want to say our affirmations?
And let's
for the
close
day?
this out. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting and sticking with us. If you've seen all 3 episodes, put a yellow heart in the comments below so we know like you saw all 3 episodes. Like that is huge. You know, like I said earlier, I wasn't sure if we were gonna stick to it, but I mean we're 3 episodes in, and I know
and so many more to go.
Right. I think it's a big accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? So
and we're happy that you guys are here with us. We love you. And follow us on all of our socials, which are linked in the description box, of course. Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe, all of the things. And Baby is going to read you guys our affirmations for the episode.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one is going to be, I embrace my uniqueness. All right, so I know some people, this may be their first video, so I just say them 3 times, and you can close out or you can read them with me, all right? So, I embrace my uniqueness. I embrace my uniqueness. I embrace my uniqueness. Next one is, I am empowered to achieve my goals. I am empowered to achieve my goals. I am empowered to achieve my goals, and I am empowered to achieve my goals. All right, and our last one of the night is, I trust my abilities. I trust my abilities. I trust in my abilities.
Yes.
All right.
And with that, we send you into the week with some positive energy, and we'll see you in our next episode. Bye.